Hello guys, welcome to another video. First of all, I said that this story doesn't belong to me, so if you read the full story for yourself, you can go down in the description, find the link to the original post and read the full story for yourself. That being said, let's get into the video. What if Minato had adopted Obito or a better route? Chapter 45 and Part 45. Tamari and Tenten looked nervous at each other. From across the arena, they had become really good friends ever since Tenten had started dating Kankara, so neither of them were looking forward to this. On the same track, though, neither of them were going to give up after getting this far. Tenten called over, nothing personal, Tamari, but I'm going to have to kick the crap out of you right now. Tamari smirked. She was glad to see Tenten would be going all out. Sorry, Tintin, but you are the one who is going home here. Hayate could see the two were quite ready to fight. He raised up his hand. Tamari versus Tintin begins in 3, 2, 1, go! Tintin grabbed her three kunai in each hand and threw them at Tamari. Tamari didn't bother to move. The kunai just went right around her. The weapons mistook the start, but I never miss. My aim's perfect. The Lee, who had decided to go stand by Kankaro, couldn't believe it. He screamed, "It is impossible! Tenten would never miss a standing target." Kankaro was ready to smack him. True, but Tamari's gotten something special to deal with with ranged weapons. Tenchan drew the worst possible reason she could have opponent she could have. Leave forward or leave round. Surely there is something she can do. Kankaro sighed. How the hell am I supposed to bounce back from this? Tenchan's going to be pissed. Tenten was suddenly suddenly wishing that she had been sparring with Tamari all those times they had hang out. He could have made this whole fight a whole lot easier. She got out one of her scrolls and launched as many weapons as she could manage at her. Once again, they just went right past Tamari making a scratch, without leaving a scratch. Tamari had her fan out with one of the blue dots showing. This is Moon 1. When you see all three, it's over. Tintin was really hoping to save this Tintin was really hoping to save this for the final, but she was out of options. She pulled out two scrolls and went for her signature move, Twin Rising Dragons. The scroll shot out in the air, and Tintin launched hundreds of weapons at Tamari. Tamari went through the second moon of her fan and swung it as hard as she could. The weapons flew back, and Tamari yelled over to Tintin. Sorry about this. This might sting a bit. Tamari released the final moon and took one last swing at Tintin. She braced herself as best as she could, but she still got plenty of small cuts on her arm. Hayate knew it was time to end the match. Tintin is unable to continue. Tamari is the winner. Tamari walked over and helped Tintin up. Not good for a long-range weapon user to draw me as their first opponent. Tintin couldn't really argue with that. Tell me about it. Conqueror ran up to his girlfriend. You alright? Tintin pouted a bit. Yeah, I am fine. Just can't believe I got knocked out. Kankaro tried to make her feel better. You got Tamari to use all three moves. That's pretty impressive. Tenten could tell what he was trying to say pretty quickly. Thank you, but don't try and butter me up too much. I am not mad at you or Tamari, mostly just myself. Kankaro gave a small sigh of relief. Thank God. I wasn't lying though. You did great out there. She gave him a small kiss on the cheek. Her boyfriend was trying hard, but you couldn't really cheer her up at this point. Glad one of us thinks that. Glad one of us thinks that. Hayate called out the next names: Kankaro and Zaku. Please down to the center of the arena. Kankaro cracked his knuckles. Looks like I'm up next. Don't worry, this shouldn't take too long. Tenten gave a small laugh at his overconfidence. Overconfidence. If you say so, you just don't get hurt. Just don't hurt the sound guy too badly, okay? Kankaro jumped down, yelling back to his girlfriend, I make no promises. Zaku heard the whole thing and growled at the puppet master. I don't know who you think you are, but you're going down, makeup boy. Kankaro's eyes started to twitch. It's war paint. I'm so kicking your ass. Hayate raised his hand to start the match. Kankaro versus Zauza. The battle begins in 3, 2, 1. Begin. Pulled out his favorite puppet Crow and launched some smoke bombs at Zaku. Zaku noticed the puppets point to the smoke and figured they must be launched with some kind of toxin, laced with some kind of toxin. He was careful not to breathe in and he raised his hand, which had two nozzles in the palm, crossed earshot out of the smoke blew away. Sadly for Zaku, the smoke was more of a distraction than anything. He saw a party of swan bones coming his way and didn't have time to dodge all of them. While did jump out of the way, several of the sandbones got imbued in his arm. That's when Kankaro called out, "Those are laced with fast-acting poison from the hidden sand. You will be dead in less than 5 minutes if you don't surrender. If you don't surrender, and I give you the antidote." Zaku cursed under his breath. Shit. Fine, I cave. Hayate couldn't believe it. The whole thing transpired in less than a minute. Zaku had forfeited. Kankaro is the winner. Kankaro pulled the antidote out of his pocket and tossed it to him. Never make fun of a puppet master. Zaku swallowed the antidote and walked back to his friends with an embarrassed look on his face. Kankaro got up to the balcony and Tenten grabbed. Wow, you said it to be quick. That was amazing. But that was amazing. The Kankaro smiled at the praise. Yeah, I did pretty good, all right. Tenten leaned in his ear and whispered, maybe I will give you a little reward later for doing so well. Kankaro shivered at the thought of her breath breathing on his neck. Oh, that sounds nice. Hayate got the next two names and called out, Shino and Kiba, please come down to the center of the arena. Kuronai cringed. It didn't happen all that often, but teammates would sometimes be forced to face off against one another. Kiva was going to blast. What? Isn't there some kind of rule against this? Kuronai shook her head. No, the matches are completely random. It's all luck for the draw. Shino turned to Kiva. Don't worry, Kiva. We will simply fight as if we aren't teammates. To put it simply, you don't hold back against me. Kiva shot Shino a feral grin. Alright, but you asked for it. They jumped down and Jiraiya asked Kuronai, you are their sensei. Who's got the advantage here? Kuronai rubbed her temples. Oh, it give a style a style of head and attacking and nowhere for Shino to hide. I would say the advantage is Kiva's. Hayate raised up his hand and called out, Kiva versus Shino. The match begins in 3, 2, 1, go! Kiva didn't waste even a second, tossing a soldier bill to Akamaru. The dog turned a reddish color, jumped onto his partner's back. Akamaru dipped, and Kiva raised his hand and yelled, "Man, beast, prone!" Akamaru transformed into an exact copy of Kiva. The two got into a fighting position as Shino raised his hand and to send out a swarm of beetles. Kiva knew what if he got touched by those beetles, the fight would have turned out for the worst. He and Akamaru decided to finish this fight as fast as they could. They charged at Shino and prepared for their best move. The two Kiva bodies started to spin until they looked like two spinning tornadoes, fang over fang. Shino knew that this beetle wouldn't be able to stop Kiva and Akamaru, but if he was lucky, he might be able to take the blow, and a few of the beetles could just cling to Kiva. If that was the case, Shino might still have a chance, stand a chance. Kiva and Akamaru ripped through the beetles, hit Shino in the chest. Shino hit the wall with a large hole in his shirt. He was still conscious, but was barely. It's just barely. Kiva could feel those beetles slowly sucking his chakra out. Akamaru was whimpering. The beetles sucked enough chakra out of him that he had been forced to change back to a dog. He knocked off what was left of the beetles from his body and looked at Shino. The user shot up and got ready to try and gather up what was left of his bugs. Kiva knew that he couldn't let that happen. Making one last lunge at Shino, Kiva aimed to finish the fight. Shino went to raise his arms and first send out his beetles. But it was too late. Kiva put everything he had in one last swing and hit Shino square in the jaw. The young Aburame had lost. Shino is unable to continue. Kiva is the winner. Kiva picked up Akamaru and put him in his shirt and walked over to Shino. He put his arm put his arm under his friend and helped back up to the balcony. Nice job out there, man. You almost had me for a second. Shino gave a small cough, perhaps, but you still won. You struggle, yeah. Win some, yeah, lost some. Kiva was glad to see there was no hard feeling between. Kuranai was glad to see that there was no hard feeling between her students. She looked over Shino and said, "I think you would better go and get yourselves looked at. You're pretty beaten up." Shino nodded and asked, "Could someone help me get there? I'm not sure I could do it on my own." One of the assistants came up. "Follow me. We have got something set up near here that should do just fine for you." Shino thanked the man and followed him. However, he stopped very quickly. I can take a look at him? However, he stopped very quickly. I can take a look at him. Everyone looked over and Kakashi yelled, "Hey mom!" Rin gave a small wave. She had come in with Fu. Hi everybody, just stopped by to watch Kakashi Shino. I would be happy to take a quick look at you. Shino started to walk over to her. "Thank you very much, Lady Rin. Who is this you have with you?" The green-haired girl jumped slightly. "I'm Fu. I saw the end of your fight. Your bugs were very impressive." Shino was slightly surprised to hear that. Most people other than his friends hated his bugs. Most people find any inst- insect reference creepy. Who knew all about being found creepy? Creepy is really a matter of opinion. Shino agreed, "Yeah, it is." Rin finished looking over Shino. "Nothing bad, just some scrape and bruises is all. You will square for a few days, skull for a few days, but that's about it." Shino was glad to hear it. He was also very interested in this green haired girl. but that would have to wait until later. Hayate called out the next two names with nervous visible on his face. Hinata and Neji, please come down to the center of the arena. I know I am in. That's all for this video. That's all for part 45. If you wanna be notified for future parts and other what if and fan fiction ratings, then the best way is by subscribing. That's all for this video. I have to see you in the next one. Bye bye.